I've spent most of my professional life involved in plastics engineering. The related manufacturing and design challenges are never ending. Also, the material science developments and improvements are never ending. I've used plastics in high-end consumer electronics that demanded performance, reliability, and cosmetic appeal. Plastics have a bit of a bad reputation, depending on who you ask.
The reasons for using plastics. Plastic advantages over other materials. Plastic materials and the environment. The plastic misuse problem. Plastics and manufacturing. Better plastic use behaviour. And the work that still needs doing.
If I was to ask you why I use plastic polymers in many engineering settings, you might give some of the following reasons. Plastic is cheap, so it makes sense. Plastic is the easiest material to use. Plastics are everywhere. You may be surprised to learn that the decider reasons are often quite different. Primary considerations are usually things like safety, function, and long life. As an example, consider this. Consider environmental resistance. Things like sunlight, chemicals, temperature. You want products that work and continue to work for a long time in locations as different as Oslo is to Phoenix. Modern engineering resins are extremely durable and have endless grades and recipes to cater for specific applications. Why is this important? Well, it ensures that your product has a long life cycle, sometimes ranging from 5 to even 20 years. This long life creates a positive environmental story, as products don't disintegrate in 1 or 2 years. If you combine this with the use of post-consumer recycled materials and industry-wide improvements in things like end-of-life, recycling and reuse, and you can see that the case for plastic is not as negative as often reported. Yes, we are all bombarded with the images from Bali beaches covered in plastic bags and plastic bottles. This is disgusting and needs attention. Yes, these images are powerful and deserve recognition for improvement opportunities. I think the bigger picture overall is often more positive than how it is sometimes depicted. For example, plastic bag usage has drastically dropped over the last 10-20 years by changes in materials, by government intervention, and an overall change in public awareness around responsible environmental care. I think there is a huge room for improvement and tackling the plastic bottle issue. Material engineers are looking at better recycling efforts, reusable bottles, and more degradable friendly material science options. This is one where I think there's still a lot of work to do, and we all have a responsibility to keep an eye on this and push on it a bit further. Over my 30 years in plastics engineering through the disciplines of tooling engineering and injection molding, I can tell you that material selection for me makes some parts and products possible. Without plastics, many of your daily devices, appliances, and medical equipment would be impossible to make. They would be prone to short life and environmentally expensive because you have to restock and produce replacement parts often. Plastics have a bad name. Yes, there are still areas in the overall industry and the application of these materials that needs better controls, better awareness. But the benefits that plastic bring to daily life, things like safety, long life, reliability, and functionality, is often unachievable by any other means. During my 9 years at Google, we spent a lot of time, money, and energy creating better PCR grades of high engineering resins. This prompted an industry-wide and a global-wide reaction. Today, there are specialized resin manufacturers' facilities just for PCR, and other companies have joined Google to have better planned repair options and end-of-life programs. Google, Apple, and others now have a better repairability. And this is built into products from the initial designs. This is a huge win for the customer and the environment. Why? The customer has more confidence that the device will be easily fixed if dropped. The environment doesn't have the impact of early need for replacement. Again, I think we all need to keep pushing to design better parts and better products with long life and end of life in mind. I think there is an opportunity to consolidate the use of resins. For example, instead of using 15 different resins and grades in a part, maybe we design to reduce that number to 5 or 7. I would appeal to regulatory authorities out there to speed up the reaction to design improvements. This is especially cumbersome in areas like medical device sector, where some current devices are based on 10 plus year old materials and designs. I mean, come on, we can all do a little more and a little bit better. Let's continue the conversation around plastic polymer materials. There is a huge opportunity to improve design and usage, making plastics a better and a more responsible material choice for the end user and for the environment.